Hi everybody, I'm Mrs. G on all social platforms. Welcome to lesson 3 on how to sight read like a boss. If you haven't done lesson 1 and 2, go do that now because you're probably going to be a little bit confused. But today, if you have done lesson 1 and 2, is the day. 8 measures of sight reading. It's going to be a pretty quick lesson. I'm going to show you my really quick strategies on how to apply what we already learned to maybe some sight reading you'd either do in class or at Solo Fest or just in life. I don't know your lives, guys. Okay, first of all, let's get into our key center. We are in C major. Here is your C major. Here's your Do. All right, let's sing a major scale just to get the tonality. 1, 2, ready, go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Sorry guys, I'm struggling a little bit today. Got a little bit of a cold. I feel like it's going around. Anyway, okay, here is your sight reading. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, let's look at this for a second. Let's talk about the familiar order patterns that you've already learned, okay? So looking at this, there are at least 5 patterns that you already know. I promise you, 5. This is a great time to pause your screen. It's like a word search. It's like the word search you never asked for. If you've hit play, that means you found as many patterns as you could. So we're gonna go measure by measure. Measure 1, do, mi, so pattern right off the bat. Technically, I mean, we didn't really do sol, mi, do coming down, but that's going into the next measure. If you got that as a pattern, you're an overachiever. Next familiar order pattern that you can recognize is in measure 3, which is a sol, fa, re pattern. What about measure 4? Do, mi, sol. And measure 5, do we know any? Some things probably look familiar, but there aren't any familiar patterns. We're going to get back there in a second. Measure 6 looks familiar. Already done it. Sol, fa, re. Measure 7 has a do, sol pattern right off the bat. And going into 8, it has do, mi, sol again. So how do we do this? So here's the strategy that I use. You start with the patterns that you know and you audiate through them. So if this is your do, what would it be? Do, sol. We're going to try one dry run. This is a nice time. We're going to pause your screen. All right, so let's sing through the patterns that we know now in order. So measure 1, here's your do right off the bat. Do, mi, sol. We're going to skip measure 2. Go to measure 3. Sol, fa, re. Go to measure 4. Do, mi, do. Now go to measure 6. Sol, fa, re. Beginning of measure 7. Do, sol, do. We're going to repeat that C again, going into measure 7. Do, mi, do. By this point, you've already sight read more than half of the 8 measures, which is great. Let's talk about measure 5. Measure 5, anytime I add eighth notes, everybody panics, okay? So if I take away the passing tones, what do you think it is? What does it look like? It's a do, mi, sol pattern. Okay, so sing do, mi, sol. Ready, go. Do, mi, sol. Now let's fill in the other syllables that we're missing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. It's a scale. Stepwise motion. That's all it is. All right, the real challenge. You are going to pause the screen in a second. You're going to audiate through it with your do, and then you're going to hit play when you're ready, and you're going to sight read it with me. Okay, if you've hit play already, that means you're ready to go. Let's do this. Here's your do. 1, 2, ready, go. Do, mi, sol, mi, do, re, mi, sol, fa, re, do, mi, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, re, do, sol, do, mi, do, do. All right, if you got to the end of that and you're like, I give up, I can't do it, I couldn't remember the syllables, help. Okay, here's what I tell my students. Here are your 2 things in the beginning that you need to be worried about. First off, always keep your do. So for most of these lessons, I'm always going to start on do and end on do. So have a strong do, strong tonal center the whole time. So even if you messed up measures 5 through 7, you knew that the last 2 notes were do. Okay, that's number 1. The second thing is if the syllables are an issue, let's say like at measure 5, You knew it was a scale. You know what a scale sounds like. But do, re, mi, fa, sol really tripped you up. Switch to a neutral syllable. So you could go, let's say you go measure for do, mi, do, re, ba, ba, ba. Completely acceptable for now. Here's my thing. Solfege is there to help you, not to hurt you. Solfege is there as a tool. If you can hear the phrase without solfege, sing it on a neutral syllable. If you recognize the pattern on solfege, sing it on the solfege. All right, we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to go a little bit slower. Goal is the second time through is fix at least one measure. Just focus on one, okay? So pause it again, work through it in your brain, and you're going to do it even better this time, I promise. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Do, mi, sol, mi, do, re, mi, sol, fa, re, do, mi, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, re, do, sol, do, mi, do, do. Can anybody else hear my dogs? Can you hear them right now? They're snoring. All right, so if you got to the end and ignored my dogs, I hope that this is helping. So here's how the next couple lessons are going to work. So I'm going to be working 8-bar phrases. They're going to get progressively more difficult as we keep going. We'll start using different time signatures. I definitely do different key signatures every single lesson because it's important not to think that C is always do. All the fixed do people are all going to come at me hard. Yes, I use movable do and I'm not sorry about it, okay? I'm not sorry. Not sorry. Anyway, again, if you're looking for anything in particular, comment below. But my goal is to get up to eventually NISMA level 6, which is New York State's highest level. This was about, I would say, between a level 2 and a 3 for our state. So if you did this and you're a first time Solo Fest kid going to Solo Fest this year, if you're a middle schooler, then this is close to something that you might have. Quarters and eighths, you're not gonna have any dotted rhythms until you get to a much higher level. As always, like, follow, subscribe. I'll see you on TikTok and other social media. I mean, who knows? TikTok might be banned by the time this video comes out, so hopefully you're here. Have a great day and good luck sight reading. Look what I wore today. No one else is gonna buy this but me, and I don't even care because it makes me happy. So I hope you're sight reading like a boss. I'll see you guys later.